not gonna cry on every episode of season 2, dadgummit. Jesus.
Hey guys.
Welcome back
to the You're Not Crazy podcast.
Or maybe you are, but you're in good company.
You are in great company. Hey guys, and welcome back to the You're Not Crazy podcast.
Where if you are, you are definitely in good company.
You are. Guys, welcome back. Listen, I can't believe that we've completed an entire season.
Yes.
Like, I remember when this was just a conversation,
Yes.
and now we're about to record our first episode of season 2 of the You're Not Crazy podcast.
That's exciting.
That's crazy.
And we made it through.
We did.
Pregnancy.
Ooh, pregnancy.
And all of the, it was a lot.
It was a lot going on, but we pushed through.
We
I was
did.
literally taking breaks and spitting cups, nauseated, gas. I was like,
A lot going on
lighting
at work.
up on this sofa, okay? And I look back on some of them. I was like, baby, I look rough, but we made it through. We made it through, and I give God all of the glory.
Yes, healthy baby.
Yes, he. I look rough, but he came out looking real cute. So we thank
And
the
a
Lord.
healthy mommy.
Yeah.
Like you're, you know,
I'm feeling good.
that's
I'm
good.
feeling good. Okay, anyway, something is wrong with me. Seriously, I told you in good company. So yeah, we sat down last week.
Mm-hmm.
We sat down last Saturday
Mm-hmm.
and discussed our plan for the year. And we're excited because we have some special guests coming on our show. I mean, we got some heavy hitters coming this year, and our theme for the year is self-help. So we're excited because we want to bring something that you guys can take away, nuggets you can take away and apply to your life throughout this year. So we are in the process of just we came together last week and we kind of discussed some topics, and Anna brought up something that was heavy on her, which was comparison. So take it away.
Well, just for context, so we talked about, I brought up the question of us talking about like what are our resolutions or like things that we really wanted to focus on this year, and you can say yours. The crazy thing is that we did not discuss that or anything, but they both are kind of in the same vein. So for me, mine is to just be Anna. Like, that's it. Like, just be whoever it is that God has called me to be, but to just focus on who Anna is. Like, as a mother, as a person, as a wife, as a friend, as a business owner, like, all of those things, just focusing on who Anna is. What does she like? What does she really enjoy doing? You know, and actually doing those things and not just thinking about all the things that I enjoy and never doing them, because that's. So, I just want to put that out there, but that was definitely for myself. That's my resolution. Now, I do have some other things that are like more like personal or like physical. Like, I need to lose 30 pounds. I would like to have that done before my birthday.
A strong eye roll, because where is it going to go?
Listen, I keep trying to tell
where
her that
is it going
she
to go?
sees me with clothes on. She sees me with clothes on.
She's going to disappear. It's going to be Tam and the Casper the Friendly Ghost over here, because where is it going to go?
Listen, there are things that are just not displayed until garments of clothing are no longer there to hold it together, okay? But it's there. Listen, the scale told me it's there. Now, I don't know if it's in my big toe or if it's in my pinky finger, but it's there. But anywho, I'm just trying to be healthy, but she got to go. That extra person that's sitting on my back, she got to go.
You got an extra person. I got 2 extra people, and they both have to retire.
Listen, it's just time. I think my biggest thing is I want to enjoy the fact that I am the age that I am, which I'm not afraid to say it. I'm just saying I want to enjoy that because physically has been I would say issue, I guess is the word, or whatever, for probably since after my having my first kids. I was about to say my first set of twins. I only have one of those. But ever since having them, it just seems like my health has just it's been a lot. So I just want to get to something that feels comfortable, but also that I internally am well. So I got to choose switch up some doctors and all that stuff. So that's my goal, is to just get healthy inside and out. So that's why the be inner part is the inside, and the outward is going to taking care of myself and getting all this, shedding some things. But what was your resolution?
So it kind of twofold. God started kind of working on me with what I would consider my resolution, if you will, before the year was out. So like around November, God started dealing with me on how I carried myself and how I represented myself and my self-worth. My word for this year is worthy. And so God showed me, he said, this year I want to take you through this journey of realizing how worthy I am, your king, but also how worthy you are, my daughter. Ooh.
That just bless
you. And so, ooh. Lord, the way you be giving me stuff sometimes, we be together. We be on the same page. But I said that to say, I follow a social media influencer, and I talk about her all the time, but I'm inspired by a lot of things that she says. I don't even know I think she's just talking about her experiences, but one of the things she mentioned was, rebranding and pretty much finding yourself again. And I didn't realize that I was lost until I looked up one day and I was like, I don't even know what I like. Like everything around me was influenced around the people around me. I was just emulating what I saw because it made sense. I had to figure out what Tam, and I'm still figuring out what Tam likes, because right now some of the things I'm doing is still heavily influenced by the people around me, but I'm finding my way. And I've never been a follower in that regard. Like I've always walked to the beat of my own drum, but I have found that because I got lost in being a mom, being a wife, being a friend, being a business owner, a content creator, I lost sight of who Tam was. And I didn't even realize it. And so Holy Spirit was like pulling me back to my roots, almost my bare nakedness, to say, who are you? Well, first I got to figure out who that is. I got to figure out who I am in Christ first, because that's where my identity lies. And from there, I can find the things that my quirks and the things about myself that I love that I walked away from, because I just got engulfed in what I was doing. And so my goal this year is to be Tam. Find out what Tam likes again. And I told myself I'm not stepping outside the door anymore, not outside the door in 2024. But I'm not stepping outside the door.
Just spit the bars.
Yeah, just drop hot fire. But anyway, stepping out the door in 2024 without putting myself together. And that doesn't mean that I have to go out with a full face of makeup every single day, but going out feeling good about myself. And when I was going out in sweats and hoodies, I wasn't. I felt very much, this is what's comfortable. I just want to go do what I need to do. And I didn't feel good about my appearance. I didn't feel good about myself. And I noticed it really started happening late in my pregnancy. The last maybe month or two of my pregnancy, when it was time to go to church, I would put on a really pretty dress, do my makeup, and everybody was just like, oh my God, you're glowing. And I remember I liked that feeling of feeling like I took time to put myself together and people noticed it. And I felt beautiful. And it wasn't because of the makeup. It's because I took time to care about my appearance.
Because you were worthy.
And so in that's where God kind of has me. And I think that leads into the whole comparison thing. Because one of the things you were mentioning was we get so caught up and we do compare ourselves to say, oh, well, I don't look like her, or they bought a house and they just got married and we've been married for such and such time, and their kids are
yeah. I feel like you're talking about me.
Yeah, well, I am a little, because we've both been talking about houses for the longest.
Yes.
We ain't even gonna get on that. No. But that's a touchy subject.
Very touchy.
Because why am I still in an apartment after being married for 10 years with 3 kids? Why are we still in an apartment? But that's where we are. That's where God has us. And I told my kids the other day, I said, listen, I said, we have to appreciate the house that we're in now before God, because they want a house too. They want a backyard. I was like, God ain't gonna bless us if we're not a good steward. And they was like, what's a steward? I said, it's when you And I'm trying to explain to them, and they're like, "Oh, okay." But go ahead. What was your whole thought process behind the comparison, though?
Well, my whole thing was I found for me the comparison was starting to eat away at me, like to the point to where I felt like it was a battle to exist sometimes because it didn't matter what room I was in, it didn't matter who was in the room, I was comparing, and it was so debilitating to the point to where it was like, where it's like in the word where it talks about like, God wants you to focus your attention on either helping or assisting or loving or pouring into other people so he can work on what your desires are for him, because if your attention is off of that, then he can work on it, right? So but in that, my attention became, I guess, toxic, in that my attention became to turn and be like, well, God, if you're doing it for them, why are you doing it for them and not for me? And so then I began to self-analyze, and I realized I'm I guess an analytical person, but I sit back and watch. I am very observant. I don't always say anything, but I am very observant of people and their habits and their whatever. And it started being, well, God, like, why would you do it for them and not for me? Like, why? Like, they don't even seem like they deserve that. They don't even take care of that. They don't even appreciate what you just gave them. I need it. Why would you give it to them? Or it was, well, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe there's something that I need to change to appear to be worthy, or to appear to be okay to achieve those things. Or it was, oh, okay, well, the same for you. My physical appearance has been the bane. Is it bane or vein?
Bane.
Well, okay. Yes. For years. And I think the part of it that was most hurtful for me is that my appearance, fashion and like clothes and stuff like that has always been like, for me, like it's like a warm and fuzzy place for me. And so when it was not easy for me, or when I felt like I was not being myself even physically, I felt like I stood out from head to toe. I feel like you could look at me and tell Anna's not being herself. Does that make sense? Like, because I already was battling with it internally, but now I feel like I can't cover it up to look okay. So now y'all see that I'm not okay. And I don't like that.
That makes sense.
So instead of it becoming a place of joy for me, it became something that was literally taxing and debilitating. And the one thing that I dreaded doing was getting dressed. And the crazy thing about that is that that's something that me and actually my best friend, that's one thing that got us this like together. Now, if we look back at some of our outfits in college, we may not be able to back that up, but
y'all was cute back then for that time.
Yes,
for that time, y'all was doing it.
But that was one of our things. Like that would be like we didn't have we did have a pot to piss in, but still it wasn't. That was it. We had the pot. Now we about the windows and all that, but like that was something that we would sit there for hours and talk about like the different outfits to put together in her closet, in my closet, thrifting. I mean, like, and it wasn't that we were spending a whole bunch of money, but like that was our thing. And now she's in fashion. Like she sews and like everything. We'll put her information at the bottom because sis is
doing it.
But like even like this. Okay, this is a very transparent because I don't even think I told her yet. So if you're watching this, but like even going to visit her became, oh God, I am not gonna cry on every episode of season 2. Dadgummit, Jesus!
Oh my God!
I look back at our episodes. I was like, dang, like
but they loved it. They be like, yes, Anna. People be messaging me.
Anna was telling you like that is so aggravating. Like I feel like I just need to buy stocking Kleenex. But anyways,
it's transparency. We need it. The girls need it.
The girls need to buy me some tissues. Okay, so I think sometimes even like the thought of going to visit her, I would automatically become intimidated because the clothes in my closet didn't match like what we normally look like, you know? And I would just be like, man, I don't even want to, like, and some of it, me not being able to go to see her was more just like situational. I've been to see her since I had my twins, but I haven't been to see her since the pandemic and having my youngest son. And she's been down here, but I haven't been to see her since she moved away. And so I remember one day, I was actually talking to my husband about it, and I was like, man, I really got to get up there, but just finances and just, it was a lot of stuff going on. And what I wasn't about to do is go somewhere and just be able to afford to get there and not be able to enjoy myself. Like, so I remember I was talking to my husband and I was like, man, I really want to see her. Like, I want to see my best friend. I want to enjoy time with her. I said, but I don't have anything to wear. And he was just like, I mean, the fact that I am in the piece of a closet in this house and you have this, like, you have more space than me. He was like, what do you mean you don't have anything to wear? I said, no, I have things to wear for here, but I don't have anything to wear for that. If that makes any sense. Because there's just a certain look.
I completely understand.
And like, and then too, like, she's got herself together. Like, her outfits are always like, yes, you know. And then I'm just like, I have cute jeans and like one blazer. Like, that's it, you know. And I know she don't care about that. So this is not anything on her. It's just me. But that's when I really started noticing there was an issue. Like, this is a problem that I don't even want to go places or getting dressed or going on a girls trip or going to spend time with people. Like, I get anxious because I'm just like, okay, you know. And even when people will be like, okay, well, our brother, anytime that we had to, like, for ministry stuff, if we had to like wear something, like, okay, Anna, like, what's the wardrobe? And in my mind, I'm like, I can't even put my own outfit together. Like, why are y'all asking me? But he's like, oh, because, you know, you're the fashion person, you know. And in my mind, I'm just like, have you seen, like, what I wear? Like, in my mind, I'm like, I gotta go buy something for this. I don't have nothing for this. I don't have cute stuff that fit me. My body I've literally gone, in 6 years, I have been at least like 4 or 5 different sizes.
Yeah.
I've gone from being like, looking like somebody needed to give me a snack because I look like olive oil, to now being a size that I've never been. So, and even in between that, my body was doing weird. It was like very, very traumatic. And I know that sounds so like, girl, just put some clothes on. But
it doesn't.
But yeah, and for somebody that's their thing. And so then when you stop being noticed for that being your thing, you're just like, oh shoot, like I'm slipping. Like, people aren't commenting on your outfit. People aren't, and it's not their job. But I'm just saying,
no, it makes perfect sense.
Yes,
it makes perfect sense.
So that was the start of the journey, and then I started noticing that I was comparing everything. It wasn't just my outfit. It wasn't just that. It was everything. And so I was just like, God, like, I'm sick of that. Like, I am sick of being so anxious about walking out of the door and going to work or going to church. I'm so sick of it, you know? And people already compare you and I every single day, all day, annoying. And it's extremely aggravating.
It's so annoying.
But I've gotten to the point to where now I expect it, and so I'm having to like chip that off and not take it as a knock towards me personally, right? But on top of that, now I just want to feel comfortable with myself. So it doesn't matter who I'm sitting beside, who I'm working with, who I go to church. It don't matter. I could be in a land that I've never been before with random people and still feel comfortable in my own skin and not care. Like, okay, yeah, like that is cute what she has on. But guess what? I'm cute too.
We cute.
Like, it's okay. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't have to be an anxious place for anymore. So that, to me, like, the Just Be Anna for me is literally going to be like transformative for me and always also for my marriage, because when you are insecure or anxious about some of the littlest things, it sparks just stupid arguments, or you're not able to show up for yourself, for your husband. If I don't feel good physically, do you think I'm gonna feel good physically with him? And that's not being too but I'm just being real.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If like, come on, like, if he's telling you like, oh, you're so beautiful, and it's like,
okay, whatever.
Okay, like, you're supposed to say that because I'm your wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, thanks for saying what you're supposed to say. Like, you can check that off of your to-do list for today. Thank you. You know, And it's not that sometimes I would kind of roll my eyes, but most times I'd be like, oh, thanks, babe. But I didn't believe it. Like, it was, like, appreciative, but I didn't believe it. And I just asked him just a couple weeks ago. I was like, how do you still look at me the same way when I don't even look the same? Like, how do you do that? Like, what is it about me that makes you still be attracted when I don't look like that?
Let me tell you how you are in literally a conversation I had with my husband last night. You are in the conversation because the funny thing is, I don't know if I ever told you this. I may have. I don't know if I've ever told you this.
Okay.
But while you were comparing yourself, I was comparing myself to you. No, seriously, because I'm like, dang, Anna come to work. I'm like, how does she find time to put on a little bit of piece of makeup? Because we was both putting on a little piece. I wasn't putting on nothing. And I would come to work, and we joke about this, but like, it was serious. And that was part of the reason why God walked me through that, because we're both the directors of this center, but she don't want to look like a director. I look like the volunteer or the raggedy parent coming in to drop the kids off. Seriously. Anna would come to work like this with trousers instead of pants on, or like a really cute skirt. And I'm coming to work in leggings and a t-shirt. I kid you not, because that's how I felt about myself. I did not value myself. I saw myself, keep my head low. I'm going to work, just do my thing. But baby, you the director. You're the director of this business. Are you serious? And the founder. Like, are you serious right now? Are you really stepping outside looking homeless? You know, and I was able to put it together enough where I didn't look like tore down, but it was just like, oh, okay. So much so that when I actually put myself together, the staff would go, Miss Tam, you look cute today. And I'm like, dang, I must really be looking raggedy. And the reality was I was looking raggedy. I mean, and I'm willing to say that about myself. So while you were comparing, I was constantly looking at Anna going, because people already think we're twins. People already always comparing us, which I don't understand that, because we're actually a lot more similar than we were just talking about how similar we are. We had a very transparent conversation with each other that will keep the ins and outs, that conversation between us. But part of one of the things we were talking about was that the fact that we're different, but we're a lot alike in so many different ways. And, but I said that to say, you know, I'd be looking like, oh my God, Anna's so cute today. And I used to feel bad because I'm like, dog, like, and I bet Anna probably thinking, dang, Tam, you could at least, and I know Anna.
I'm going to be honest with you. My thought process a lot of times was I knew you were Russian. And two, you have always been so, what's the word? You had used it before and I can't think of it now. But you have always been so out and proud about just being like this is just who I am, that I honestly was just like, I think this is her just being, like, if she didn't feel like getting dressed up today, it's because she decided that's how she wanted to look. And it wasn't a negative. It was just like, that's Tam being Tam. And that's just all, that was my thought process.
And that's what I told myself, because to a certain extent, that's where I started with my confidence there, but I remained there. My confidence was, no matter what you put on, you're beautiful. And I stayed there to say, oh, but it's like, no, baby, you still got to put yourself together. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I told myself that to make myself feel better. And just last night, because while she talking about she got a whole person to lose, I got to lose 3 people. And with that, comes lots of responsibility and accountability. And yesterday it's very hard. And I started feeling myself getting a little depressed over the past 2 weeks, because when you're breastfeeding, you're hungry constantly, because you're literally burning calories while you're breastfeeding, and you literally, like, you can't keep enough food. And I was like, why am I so hungry all the time? Like, my stomach's actually growling, not like, but you get snacky, you get cravings as if you're still pregnant. And so I'm back here eating, I done ate 3 Snickers ice cream bars, and I'm up and telling my husband, and I know he's looking at me like, I'm like, babe, I feel so fat, like I need to lose weight. And finally last night he looked at me and said, babe, he said, I don't want you to take this any kind of way. He said, I'm not saying nothing like, oh, you need to. He's just saying, you keep saying that, but you're not doing anything about it. So I didn't take that no kind of way. I was like, that's true. He was like, I'm saying it for myself. I say it too. I got to lose weight. And, so that was that. And then we got back on the subject again. And I was talking about it, and he said, what did he say? I said, yeah, I grabbed hold of my stomach, my rolls, and I was like, if I could just get rid of this. And he said to me, he was like, well, if you get rid of that, there's going to be other areas too. Like, that's going to be the last thing to go. You're going to be losing all the other stuff. And he was like, so you're going to have to, and I kind of snapped at him. I was like, I just want to lose my stomach. Like, and I just like went off, and he was like, he said something. He was like, well, I didn't mean for it. I was like, well, just don't say anything at all. Like, I'm snippy with him. And he's like, okay. Wow, I'm playing with the baby. So I got myself together. Holy Spirit was like, that wasn't right. That was not right. So I sat down next to him, and I told him, I said, babe, when you said that to me, it made me feel like maybe you feel like I need to lose weight. And he says, no, babe. He said, I was just saying, like, if you want to do it, you gotta think about those things. And I said, are you even attracted to me? And he looked at me and he said, yes, I'm very attracted to you. He's like, I'm very attracted to you. And that was we got some real good husbands. And for me, I felt because the foundation of our marriage was founded, like the basis of our marriage, we walked into it with issues right out the gate of comparison and me not feeling good enough and not feeling like I was attractive. Because we went through some personal things, and it was hard. And I was comparing myself to every woman that was in our circle at the time. Every single one in my circle. And so that kind of took me back to a place. It triggered me. And so we had to talk that thing out. So when you said that, I was like, man, but even if just because my husband's attracted to me, doesn't mean that's still not areas I need to work, or where I still feel like I need to.
Exactly.
And so a lot of times what I found myself doing, not just physically, but I was comparing my personality to people. And this is where God got me together. I'm bubbly. I'm friendly. I used to think I was extroverted. I am, but I'm also introverted. So I'm an ambivert. So I can do either or. It just depends on what's going on, situation, what mood I'm in. But at the time, I saw myself as an extrovert only. I was the type of person that needed quality time to feel loved. And so that made me feel clingy when really I wasn't. I just wanted to be around my friend, or friends, or whoever it was. So I started comparing my personality to people, because people would tell me things like, you got too many friends. You talk to too many people. Now I'm about to start crying. People always told me that I was too nice, or, you're clingy. Like, why do you always want to hang out? I used to feel bad about who I was. And I'll never forget, my dad told me, he said, don't stop being who you are, because people don't know how to handle that. If you're a giver, give. If they don't want to receive it, that's on them. And I pulled back from being who I literally changed the very DNA of who I was, because I felt like people were judging me because I was a giver. That's how I show love. I'm an acts of service girl. If my friend is sitting in front of me telling me all the stuff that they got going on, I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna go do. You said you needed this, I'm going to go do it. If it's within my wheelhouse, I'm going to do it. And so I was comparing my personality. So I was dealing with physical and inner comparisons. When I saw people who kind of kept to themselves and didn't really say much, I started doing that. Not because that's what I wanted to do, because I felt like maybe that's the cool thing. Just don't talk. Just don't say anything. But that's not me. I always have something to contribute to the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And even still, I got something to say. You know what I'm saying? And so I would shy away. Now, I will say, once I started really figuring out who Tamara was, I realized that I don't always have something to say, or I've learned to hold it. This ain't the time, Tam. Because I would just say it. It's not the time to say it. Or not only just hold it, but I also realized that I don't want to necessarily be around a whole lot of people. I just want to be around the right people. So whereas people, Lord, girl, let's go get together. Let's hang out your house. But if it's one-on-one, I might be like, yeah, girl, let's go sit down. Or maybe it's two of us. You know, we go, me and two other friends, we go somewhere. I found that that's what so I've learned things about myself, but for a while I compared my personality to people. And I felt bad because I felt like people didn't want to be my friend. And I had people walk away from friendship with me because of who I was. And that was hurtful because I'm like, I can't change me. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. And so for a long time, I did feel lonely. I was like, God, I don't have nobody. I don't have any friends. And that's what I thrive off of is community. I love sitting in a room and having a conversation with friends. I love just laughing and goofing off. And like you said, for you, your thing was fashion and being dressed. For me, it was being bubbly and joyful. And that's why when you said that like hit me, because I'm like, man, when that was stripped away from me, then I felt like people could see something was wrong with me. And I didn't like that either. So I completely understand. And that this could have really went a place. So I'm glad I kept myself together. But yeah, I legit had people. I felt like people didn't want to be my friend. I felt like people didn't want to be around me. And so I just pulled away from everybody. And then it was, why Tam acting like that? She acting stank. She this and that. And I was okay with that because
when I gave you me, it was a problem.
It was too much. So let me pull back. And in that pulling back, I'm thankful for that season because in that pulling back, I really truly got to understand who I was, like my personality wise, and the type of friend I am, the type of wife I am. And so it helped me in a sense, but it was hurtful. And so I feel like our resolutions for this year, just like what we're trying to do this year, really do align. And I feel like we can hold each other accountable in that too, because to say, and honestly, like anytime people compare us and I don't like it, I'm going to just make it a point to call it out or say something or what's the word I'm looking for? Address it in a nice way, not be ugly, but like, because we are two different people.
Yes.
We are a lot alike, but we are two different people, and there's no need to compare us because, and thankfully, we have a bond that's strong enough where I don't look at you because just because somebody compared us don't mean that I got to look at you and don't be like that. We got to be beefing because of that. Because no, I mean, Anna is a beautiful woman, but so am I, and I don't have to feel intimidated by her beauty because maybe today she looks cuter than I'm willing to say that, girl, you look cuter than me today. Okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, girl. I look busted today, so but whatever, you know, so it is what it is.
I'm laughing because what came to my mind was when you said we don't have to be beefing or whatever, was who I'm beefing with right now is the enemy, because the way that he had us comparing ourselves to one another. And we literally do a podcast together. Mm-hmm. We work together, which the work that we do requires a lot of us. And how dare he try to pin us against each other to now either us find fault in one another or compare ourselves and feel less than for the other person. But that just means that there is a lot that is supposed to come from this, because he can't handle us being like this. So I am happy that we are in this together. Because listen, we gonna kick the enemy in his nuts,
in the back of his face. In the back of his face. Cody said, I'm gonna hit you in the back of your face. What does that even mean?
By making sure that we are the best that we can be as individuals, because I truly believe, I've heard this with marriage, that two halves don't make a whole, but two wholes make a solid and a solid marriage. But I feel like that is in general. Like when you can come to any relationship or any situation whole, like whatever is supposed to happen, like God is going to get the glory out of it. Because when you can come in and not be worried about what the person next to you is or is not doing, not in a negative way, because I feel like the problem is in the Bible, and I don't know why I keep bringing up Bible references today, like
because it's in you, it's on you.
Anyways,
minister, evangelist. Okay, go ahead. Sorry,
we're gonna continue. And now I'm going to let go of your hand.
Because our friend is here visiting, and she's trying so hard not to.
But I'm laughing because you hear like comparison is a thief of joy, right? But also having to reconcile that with iron sharpens iron. Because where is it to where I don't take it as a comparison as a negative thing, but I take it in a moment to allow it to make me better. And I think that all comes with perspective, because whereas we both were looking at each other in maybe similar ways, the response or how it affected us was completely different. And so I think that the best thing for just as individuals for us to do is not allow the comparison to steal the joy that you have or to steal a part of you, but allow it to be the iron that sharpens you to make those things. So it's like, for myself, what I started doing, or at least attempting to do it, was saying, if I don't like what I have, that means that I need to be fiscally what is it? Not responsible, but what's the other word? Aware? Sure. Of how I can make those small changes. Like, what are opportunities that you're going to say no to because you feel uncomfortable, than to say yes to it and answer like a desire that you have. And so I, for myself, when people were like, hey, we're giving away are you interested? Instead of me being like, no, because I don't want to say, I'd be like, sure, what do you have? Because in my mind I know that I don't have it for me to just go to the store and blow $300 on a new wardrobe. I don't have it. But if I can get a blazer from here and a pin from here and a necklace from here, before I know it, I now am building what it is that I see that I'm trying to get back to. And the reality is that my idea of fashion and cute things in college is completely different than it is now. Because now I want cute comfort. Because I have 3 little ones, I need to be able to still run after them. I need to still be able to do what I need to do. And, I don't have to carry the same type of diaper bag. But before, I got to still wear a diaper bag with this. So if it's going to be sliding because it's silk and all that ain't going to work, So I have to, think about those type of things, like transitional wear, like things that I can wear 4 different ways for whatever it is. If I can just switch out a sweater or switch out a blazer or wear it with sneakers, that, my mind around that is completely different. So I'm trying to get to that place where it is, but I also have had to say yes and no in situations that I normally would not be comfortable in. And so I just pray that this year we are able to walk this thing out in a way to where we allow those uncomfortable situations to now be the thing that God uses to either peel and chip away things that we don't need, or, sorry, I just thought about what someone said at one of our church services talking about, us being moldable and malleable in God's hands. And I'm just, anyways. But for him to be able to chip away the things that we no longer need, but also for it to sharpen us in those areas that we are trying, the goals that we have for ourselves. Because it's so easy to walk into a room, especially as women. Yeah. It's so easy for us to walk into a room and we do a scan check. And that's why they say women don't get dressed for men, they get dressed for other women. And that, we may get dressed for men and that it might fit a certain way or be a certain color. But I'm also in the mind trying to think, okay, so what's she going to have on? Because I want to make sure we're not having the same color because I want to stand out. So you're still thinking about what the other women in the room are wearing. Yeah. You want to impress him, so you want to make sure that you outdress every other woman in the room. And so, instead of taking it as an opportunity for you just to be sharp in the way that you do things, that it don't matter who else is in the room. Y'all are okay. Y'all can stand beside each other and it be all right. And guess what? Even if she do outstep you, sis, you outstep me. Cute. You are cute. Where did you get that? Because now, and I just feel like we could find ourselves in so many, and we're talking about fashion, but that can be literally in any and everything. If it's a mom who you see is really killing it with how she's doing stuff, asking her or being like, you are killing it in this mom space, man. how can I get that from you? Like, what are you doing? What book did you read?
Right.
What podcast do you listen to? Who is your friend? Who is your pastor? Do they have like a message that just made it come together? Like, like asking those type of questions of wanting to just be that space, and also also understanding that we may not see the full transformation in 2024. And I'm having to settle with that because I'm going to be very honest. If I'm still deciding in 2025, I am going to be upset.
No, it's going to be a whole problem.
You get what I'm saying? But I also am having to be okay, like understand that transformation takes time because it took time for me to get here. So it's going to take me time to get out. And that's what my husband did say. Like, he was like, babe, your body has literally gone through a lot of changes in the last 6 to 7 years. He was like, so you expecting it to be completely different in 4 months is probably not going to happen. He was like, I'm just going to be very honest with you. And I was like,
and your husband have no issues with your extra curves at all.
He'd be looking at me like, why? Like, and I'm
why
like,
you want to lose weight? I don't understand. Same way, I'm like, where's it going, Anna? Where is it going?
Oh my gosh. Listen, y'all, it's all right.
I told my husband, I said, babe, I'm tired of looking extra large next to you. I said, I'm just tired. I'm tired of looking like a big old huge blob next to you. And he just looked at me. He was like, babe, you don't look like that. I said, babe, look at us. We literally live our lives out on camera. I look ginormous next to you. And he's just like, no, you don't. I'm like, okay, sir, whatever you say.
To him, it's probably just like,
yeah. And I'm just
I can handle it.
No. No, sir, you shouldn't have to handle it.
Listen.
It should be manageable, sir.
Listen, just because you can't handle it doesn't mean you should. Here's your trophy. Congratulations, you handled it. Now find a way to handle something else, because
my goal is to at least drop 30 pounds, 30 to 40 pounds this year. If it were up to me, it'd be 80. But if I could do half that, I think I'd be good to go. I do feel like if I lost 80 pounds, I would disappear. My friends told me that, but I need to lose 80 pounds. So there's that. So, y'all, we're going to wrap it up here because
we love y'all so much.
We could go on and on and on. And I'm hungry. So, we love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being a part of season 2. This is so exciting. So, we love you guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when all of our videos come out. So we love you guys. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Toodles.
Hey guys.
Welcome back
to the You're Not Crazy podcast.
Or maybe you are, but you're in good company.
You are in great company.